Welcome back to another episode of Nature Aquariums TV, where today we're going to deconstruct our UNS 45E Paludarium and turn it into something that occurred a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. This tank has been up now for almost a year. We had a lot of fun with it, putting it together. The UNS 45E Paludarium, 45 centimeters, and we use one of the UNS Strata Pro rocks in there. We really liked it a lot, but since then a couple of things have happened. One, the intake sponge in the back for the filter has become clogged. So we lost our water flow, and it's to the point that it needs a makeover. So we had two choices. We could just try to trim it, but in order for me to clean the filtration in the back and get that filter up and running again, it would have meant that I would have to take in the whole system over here, this whole Aquascape out of the tank, which is gonna cause a huge ball of mess. So I decided to go a completely different route, and we're gonna create a new Star Wars-themed layout. Now, I'm not gonna get into details. I'm gonna let you watch as I put together this setup, and I'm gonna walk you through the different steps and some of the aquascaping techniques that I'm gonna be using to achieve, hopefully, the result that I have in my head. You know, that's always subjective, making sure we make it look right. So stay tuned for this. We're gonna walk you through first breaking this tank down. We're gonna salvage a lot of these plants. I'm gonna be reusing a lot of this Bacupa Manieri, which, by the way, it's growing all the way down to the floor. We have some nice Alterthera Renicki, we have some mosses, and we have Hygrophila pininfarida stuck in there, which I really want to salvage. There's a lot of cool plants that I'm gonna use, but other than that, it's gonna be a complete rescape. We're also gonna change the lighting. I'm gonna experiment with using a Kessil A80 light because I want a little bit more focused light to give it the dramatic look that I'm looking for. Let's get on with getting this tank together. We cleaned up the whole mess. We salvaged the plants that we could. It's nice working with a large palette, so as we're designing this and laying it out, we have some good choices. For this scape, we are going to use Dragonstone. We're going to use a Caribsea Dragonstone arch. It's going to be incorporated into the scape, and also I'm going to use a UNS Spiderwood on slate that's going to be put in here as well. Just keep in mind a couple things, lessons learned from the last video. When we took this apart, the old sponge in here, the intake was completely rooted up and covered in roots and plants, prohibiting the flow to the filter. As you do these designs, leave yourself room that you can access and clean, and that pre-filter periodically. In our old design, I did not leave myself any clearance for that. Also was for accessing the outflow pipes to clean them regularly. So that's something I want you guys to do, the takeaway in this design. Hopefully we'll have resolved a lot of those shortcomings and be able to give an easier to maintain design. Here we're going to use the APT starter bacteria and fertilization. This is going to give the initial boost of bacteria and ammonium sulfate to help jumpstart the tank. Comes in a resealable pouch. This will actually handle a much bigger tank. Over here we add to the water, but this is covered with ammonium sulfate and bacterial colony. All right guys, so we've completed the setup. These images that you're gonna see are a week later after setting up the Paludarium. And I kind of want to go over some of the things that we've added in here and what we've done to the tank. So I added a whole bunch of Bucephalandra to the tank. I think Buces are gonna stay nice and small and stay relative to the scale of the tank. We've gone and used extensive amount of Dragonstone in here. I like the Dragonstone because of the colorants. It's got a reddish hue. It looks kind of weathered and rough without that traditional gray look. And I think it blends in very well to the spiderwood, which has orange tones, and the brown contrasol that we use. So everything is staying in the same coloring look. Not that I'm going for a monochromatic look, but I want colors that will complement each other and not crash. Also, we've gone and added Spanish moss. Now, this is readily found here in Florida. I've actually grows in my backyard. I put it in there. If you're doing something like this, you can usually find these at floral supply centers. They do have it and you can cover it. It usually comes in a little bit on the gray side, white side. When you wet it, it turns a little bit greener, but it's a very nice complement to it, to giving that Dagobah look. Lastly, we did put in Grogu. He is obviously the star of this tank, and I managed to get the piece of floating rock. He's using the force to elevate this. And what we did is we positioned the Atomizer right below the cave, so the mist coming out flows through the cave, and that was really kind of a look I wanted to go through. I am super happy with the placement now of the Delta 30 in the intake. I did have to clean it within the week. Of course, when you set up a tank, you're always going to have a lot of debris and floating items. Because of the way we did this Aquascape versus the original scape, I was able to just lift up the intake strainer, take out the sponge, clean it, put it back in, and cleaning out the filter was very, very easy, because by lifting out the intake, you broke the siphon and therefore you don't drain the tank. So that's important to keep in mind when doing these scapes. Either you're going to have to use check valves or set it up so you can do a siphon break. Overall, I'm very happy with this tank. Can't wait to see how it's going to grow and develop. So I really appreciate you guys watching this. I hope this inspires you to create some mythical scapes, whether it's Star Wars related or the rings or World of Warcraft. I'd love to see some of you submit a World of Warcraft tank out there. Have fun with it. Just remember to incorporate your elements so it looks natural, but just have fun. There's no wrong or right way of doing these tanks. As always, we really, really appreciate you guys watching and supporting us. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you so much for supporting us at our store. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And this time I'm going to sign off. May the force be with you.